we were attending Lover's Lane United Methodist at the time, and I had grown up working with the disabled community. And so when we were looking for opportunities to serve, it was a real natural fit for me, at least, to serve in that ministry.
I was not connected to, familiar with, or had any either family or school connections or relationships with anybody who had disabilities, really. Just being able to volunteer, I think, made a huge difference for what I was able to, learn about myself and then accept and want for our family, when it was time to say yes, to this. With Avery and with Emmanuel, I'd already been through the process of saying yes, a little bit further and a little bit, to a little bit more.
Us adopting kids with disabilities wasn't necessarily, it was something that I was always open to because, like I said, I've worked in the community since I was 14 in different capacities. So we adopted our son. He came to us at 2, and he was an adoptive placement. So he was a kid waiting in foster care. And we knew he had some disabilities. The extent of, and what actually we were dealing with, didn't shake out for a few years, which is kind of what it's like a lot of times when you have a kid with a disability is. And then the same for Avery, our daughter. She came to us at 17 days, and as far as we knew, she was just another foster baby. About 2 months into the placement, if not before that, I really knew that there was something else going on. So Avery was diagnosed at 8 months with a rare neurogenetic disorder called Angelman syndrome. Her diagnosis happened along with some other things that just kind of snowballed into her becoming available for adoption. And our answer was always yes. A lot of people, I think, look at our family and they think, oh, it's so wonderful you adopted a child with Angelman syndrome. But we had Avery for 8 months.
Yeah.
They're just our kids by the time, it's like the 10th hour when they're asking you, are you going to adopt these kids? Well, they've been with you by the time we adopted Avery, she was 17 months old. We'd picked her up at 17 days. It wouldn't have mattered, the diagnosis at that point. Rays of Light needs to exist because in this country, caregivers are it is a silent crisis, I think, that's happening. And I thought I understood because I had worked with adults and children in all these different capacities and had very close working relationships with parents. And I thought, oh, I know what I have an idea about that. And then we had Eamon, and I was like, wow, I didn't. And then we had Avery, and I was like, I had no idea what being a parent of a medically complex, child with a rare neurogenetic disorder, what that does. It is an A-bomb that goes off in your entire life, and it changes the entire trajectory. So having things like Rays of Light, like I said, having a standing 4 hours that they all love it. They're all excited to be there. They all look forward to it. They hate it when we come back. Even always is so disappointed to see us at the end of the night. Very vocally unhappy at Rays of Light.
These friends at Rays of Light, and they have special needs like me. And they're really nice, and they play creative games. Yeah, the family and them are pretty fun.
But one of my favorite things about it is how seamlessly and how intentionally they fill in for the siblings of these kids, because through no fault of his own, we have a very responsible 12-year-old who's incredibly mature that doesn't get a lot of our attention because of the needs of our other two. So it's nice that he looks forward to it too because he feels connected.
If you have disabled children, most places are not made with them in mind. They are at best case scenario, they're an afterthought if they've been thought of at all. This is a ministry where it was created with my child in mind. And so
with the siblings.
yeah, and siblings and the family in mind. Having a place that is created for your child and being able to take them there where they're like, we are going to do the things that are needed. You know, we're going to have a nurse there. So you don't have to worry about if your child has a seizure disorder. You don't have to worry about if your child has a feeding tube. Two things that we have. And then also, we have a child who has major social emotional issues. And so, you know, them being willing to do what's needed to keep him there and keep him safe as well. And being able to serve that spectrum is really unusual.